From Abuja, the nation's capital, this is Matters Arising, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, commonly known as KAFTAN Television. Matters Arising is the flagship talk show of KAFTAN TV that features in-depth discussions and analysis of topical and trending national as well as international issues by our team of seasoned broadcast journalists. My name is Macauley Hunohashi. Thanks for joining us tonight on Matters Arising.
Okechukwu Onugbogu here. Good to have you there.
And Victoria Oketa. Good to have you join us on the show.
That's right, Victoria. We welcome our viewers to tonight's show, which promises to be engaging, incisive and interactive. You can also be a part of the conversation by calling our phone number 08039386365. I take it again, 0802-9938-365, which will be displayed on your screen later in the course of the show. Chase, Victoria, that's something that has trended. Nigerian politicians, it seems they have never learned their lesson. You know, after close to 25 years now, after, you know, embarking on this current political journey, Nigerian politicians are still exchanging blows. We have seen them on the floor of the House. Yeah. We have seen them at the National Assembly. We have, you know, even at the state level, state houses of assembly. But this one, the current one, has to do with the biggest opposition party in the country, the People's Democratic Party. Two, you know, political heavyweights that are laying claim to the seat of the secretaryship are fighting, and they're busy fighting.
Well,
taking it away from the courts.
Did you all watch that fight? That was quite an embarrassing one. I mean, I'm ashamed, and a lot of Nigerians are ashamed as well. Right. Because we cannot have this set of people leading us as our leaders.
As our leaders.
I mean, there are ways to settle things amicably. You don't have to throw blows.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't understand.
Well, I don't know about blows, but all I know is that I was told that someone was heavily flogged. Oh, that's the one that was chased out.
Did you see the Koboko?
I didn't see it, so maybe we'll see it ahead of time, maybe later. But then I keep saying there's no need for all these. There's no need for all these. I guess it's high time we woke up from all this slumber and got to live the right way in this country.
Absolutely, you're right. There's no need for all this. Well, that's on a lighter note. One of the most serious note on our topic tonight, we shall be taking a look at the internal crisis that have rocked Nigerian political parties and their implications to the country's democratic journey. Crisis within political parties in Nigeria is a long-standing issue that has plagued the country's democracy. At the heart of this problem is the lack of internal democracy within parties, leading to conflicts over leadership, candidate selection, and ideology, if any, among so many. Experts have identified key factors contributing to intra-party conflicts to include: 1. Leadership recruitment. Disputes over leadership positions and the selection of candidates for general elections. 2. Lack of transparency. Poor management of party finances and decision-making processes. 3. Ideological differences, which are conflicting views on party ideology, if any, as well as policies. 4. Personal interest, that is selfish interests and ambitions of party leaders and members, which is far and above national interest. These conflicts often escalate into full-blown crisis, affecting not only the parties but also the electoral processes. The two major parties in Nigeria, the All Progressives Congress, APC, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, which is supposed to be the largest opposition party, have both experienced their own fair share of intense internal conflicts that have continued unabated. In fact, from ABGA to NNPP to SDP to AA, etc., no political party in Nigeria can be said to be immune to internal wranglings or conflicts. To address these challenges, however, experts recommended strengthening party institutions, promoting internal democracy, and establishing clear ideologies and policies. By so doing, Nigerian political parties can reduce intra-party conflicts and improve their chances of electoral processes. Tonight, we'll delve into the complexities of these internal crises, exploring the implications for Nigeria's democracy and the upcoming 2027 general elections. Join us tonight as we examine the fault lines within Nigeria's political parties and what they mean for the country's democratic future. Democracy is the best governance all over the world, copied from the West. And leadership is all about expectation of good governance by showing example. Leaders, I remember when Milaid and Edino exchanged blows with Jimmy on the floor of, the red chamber. That is not a good example of how young people should be saddled with the responsibility to demonstrate leadership. And I've also seen fisticuffs in the Senate, and it's still fresh in our memories when leadership of the National Assembly scaled the fence, to defy security agents by forcing their way into the National Assembly. These are not good examples of how leaders should behave, and the current one leaves sour taste in the mouths of Nigerians.
Honestly,
I wouldn't know how sour it is, because why I'm saying so is that we've been seeing it. I don't know whether it will be ending soon, but the truth is we don't need it. We don't need it. Why I'm saying we don't need it is that there are so many things we can do to help. Like they've gone to the court, using this last one now.
Yeah.
They went to the court, got a hearing.
Yeah, I'm talking about the People's Democratic Party.
Yes, got hearing, and the other fellow went to the court, got his own, and the other went back to the appeal and got something better. But the fact is that the last case is that it was stated that they would need to return to status quo ante. That is, get back to what it was before anything, until after the final thing from the court.
yes.
So, using that, there was no need for that man to come there at all. But he still wanted to. Someone said it was for selfish reasons that he went there.
Yeah, I was going to say,
yes,
I mean,
not been brought in there.
why they fight? Are they fighting for the sake of the citizens of Nigeria?
No.
I mean,
No.
if this fight was going to be for the sake of the citizens, I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah, you're right.
But a lot of people are saying that this is for selfish interest.
It is.
That's what
Many people are not happy, actually. If you go through the street of X, you would see the comments, And I'm wondering, I mean, the Nigeria police force, they were right there. The personnel were there.
They were there?
So, yes.
They were just watching.
I mean, let's talk about that.
They weren't really watching. They weren't really watching. They were even the ones that helped the man out. If not, maybe he would have been beaten effectively, maybe beaten to death, because of the fact that...
I don't think it would get to that.
Yeah, because of the police presence, it was kind of watered down.
So you would say the police were active?
Yes, they were the ones that led him out, and then prevented the other ones that were running after him to stay, continue with the beating, prevented them from coming to him to do any further harm. So I think the Nigeria police did well this time, and I think they did well.
Well, what Victoria was talking about was that there was a part where a policeman was shoved aside by one of them. At the gathering of the party's board of trustees, we saw that both two party chieftains, that is Samuel Anyanwu and Sunday Ode Okoye, are laying claim to the seat of the national secretary. Samuel Anyanwu was the person. He was the substantive, national secretary of the party before he opted to go and contest for the governorship of
Imo State.
Imo State. Yeah.
He was defeated by Hope Uzodinma. He didn't resign his position, and he later came back to reclaim his seat. Someone was already acting as the national youth leader of the party, in the person of Sunday Ode Okoye. He was acting. There was litigations. Sunday Okoye went to court. Samuel Anyanwu also went to court, and then he got judgment. He came back. He wanted to resume today at the Board of Trustees meeting, presided by Adolfo Wabara as the chairman of the BOT, only for to meet Sunday Ode Okoye already seated. So when he arrived, talks, people, members loyal to Anyanwu chased Sunday Okoye out of the meeting. Well, Victoria Oches, at this point, we have a video for emphasis and for those that have not seen it before or have not watched it online, because this video got traction. It went viral on social media. Let's have a look. Well, this is not the full length of the video that went viral on social media.
This is just the end part of it, because everything has been concluded at this point in time. He was chased out, and while being chased out, he was being beaten as he was going out.
That's right.
Yes.
And this went on until he came out effectively. At least I had seen a bit of that before now. And then he got here, that we just saw. So a lot had happened before this point, but at least, if for nothing else, we've seen the face of the man.
You talked about policemen. Following the quick intervention of policemen, Ude Okoye came out and he was beckoning on young people who wore black that they should gain access into the venue of the meeting. But the policemen stopped them.
What was that for?
It would have escalated.
He would have,
he wanted them to come and support him and go on to create.
So does that mean he had them on ground?
Of course he did.
He was ready for the fight.
He was ready for the fight.
Yeah.
He was ready for the fight. Well, Vicky Oches, at this point, let's open our telephone line so that our vibrant callers can begin to call in to make the program interactive as well as conversational. KAFTAN TV is the only leading television station that has availed Nigerians the opportunity to verbalize their thoughts on national issues, topical trending issues, because they don't have the opportunity, even though they are protected by the Constitution, to say whatever they want to say, to exercise freedom of expression. KAFTAN TV has given them the opportunity. They can call in. We are being joined by Sadiq Olushola from Kogi State. Sadiq Olushola is our regular caller. Please go ahead. You are on to Matters Arising tonight. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sadiq Olushola.
Thank you for the wonderful excitement program people are carrying on there in the studio.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you for calling in.
At times, when we see the way these our politicians are behaving in this country,
that's right.
Nobody need to tell you that they are just after their own selfish interests and their own pockets.
Yeah.
Look, a whole party, the largest party in Africa.
That's right.
Okay. Look the way they are behaving in public. The issue of position is not a do or die. And besides, the court have ruled, go back to the status quo. If the court have ruled, I go back to the status quo.
That's
then
right.
Why don't you wait for the Supreme Court to go ahead and make the final judgment? You see, the fact why you discover that even people today, they don't obey the court is because they know that the judges of the so-called court, the politicians, they know how they bribe the judges, they know how they buy the judges over. That is why you discover that today, if any judges should make any law in this country, the politicians are not obeying it. Why? Because they said they know what the judges are like. But it is not done in any legitimate country or in any responsible country when a competent court of jurisdiction has pronounced a judgment and you see people will go against that judgment. That is to tell you that the court is not even recognized by the people.
Well, thank you.
This as a result of the tell you how our court has been bastardized. The judges, they have no respect for themselves. That is why you discover today, when court give this order, people will boycott the order of the court and they will carry out their own money and nothing will happen. It's not done in a civilized country whereby a court has issued an order and you boycott the order. And you say that it's law in this country. It's a pity.
It's a pity. You have made your point.
You see that all the politicians are clamoring around 2027 is here. 2027 is around the corner again.
Thank you, Olushola. Thank you, Olushola. We appreciate your perspective. You know, Olushola is skeptical because, and you don't blame Nigerians when they express skepticism about the position of Nigerian courts. We are being joined by Atem. Atem is calling us from Rivers State. Atem, go ahead, please.
Good evening.
Good evening, Atem.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Godwin. I'm calling from Akwa Ibom State.
Thank you, Godwin.
Okay, this time Godwin from Akwa Ibom.
Godwin
Okay,
from
let's
Akwa
see.
Ibom.
What really transpired there is, I want to call it a national embarrassment. I don't know if they are protecting the image of the country, or they are protecting their self or their self-interest or whatever.
Mm.
And the whole world are watching what some few elements displayed there. You travel out of the country now and they don't take you as anything because the politicians have bastardized the whole thing, the whole place for us. And they are taking us inferior outside here simply because of what is playing out in our political terrain. Just like the first caller made mention of the judicial system. They know that even the judicial system is in their pocket. How can they must have given a judgment and you don't allow this judgment to be carried out in the latter. And yet they ended up disgracing, carrying out. Look at what is happening. Look at what is happening now. And the whole world are watching it. They make law and they don't keep obeying that law.
That's right.
It is well, sir.
It is well. Thank you. We appreciate your call tonight.
You know, asking that they will go back to status quo ante.
Yes.
That's what it was before the problem cropped up in the first place. I must also say that the constitution of PDP doesn't have it where it doesn't have anywhere where it's written that when someone wants to go for another office, an elective office, he should abdicate his office, post his position, and go for that. That's why we've seen this. This is not the first time it's happening, and so that's why it's painful to see that young man who still has a lot. You know, I mean, he used to be the leader of the youth. You know, so he still has a lot for the future. How he would want to truncate all that with this kind of thing he has just done, because if not, he would have just gone back to his position.
Itching to say something, but let's we're being joined by Esodudu. Hold your thoughts there. Esodudu has been calling us. It's our regular caller from Cross River State. Esodudu is also KAFTAN ambassador.
Imagine a beautiful Nigeria with KAFTAN.
That's right.
Thank you, Esodudu.
Imagine a beautiful world with KAFTAN.
That's right.
And imagine a beautiful opposition with KAFTAN. Good evening to you, High Chief Okechukwu Onugbogu.
That's right.
Good evening to Mrs. Victoria Oketa.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening.
Very good evening to you, Mr. Macauley Hunohashi.
Good evening.
Very wonderful.
Good evening, my brother from another parent.
Road to 2027 election, political party grapple with internal crisis. Yes, it is now a new normal. If you look at what is happening, because almost all the political parties are involved. Reason why? Because you see, internal party democracy completely is absent now as it is in our political system. Why? If we have internal party democracy, what we are observing in PDP Secretary Wadata House, I believe I was there in 2022 once. I accompanied a friend to take an expression of interest while I was in Abuja, a nomination form. It is quite unfortunate. What you are seeing there is a display of when two elephants are fighting. It is the grass that suffers. The local PDP supporters in the village outside Wadata Plaza are the people that will suffer. The real people that are actually supporting or drumming for these people that are fighting. They are somewhere there chilling. And I said later, and I will continue to say it again. You see, until we return back to what was obtainable in the First and Second Republic, whereby political parties were actually in control of those that are heading the party and not elected representatives. The governor, the president, the state house of assembly, the senator, the house of representatives. Until we return to that, we will continue to have this crisis. You see what is playing out there? There are very strong people that are pushing these people. They are not doing it on their own.
Yeah.
And the party in power that is also facing this similar or the same problem, they are very happy because they are controlling the national cake. They are very happy. This is an advantage to the party in power. And PDP, this is high time they should make sure they put their house in order.
Yeah.
Party supremacy is very, very important. They must institutionalize party supremacy. The party is supreme to any other individual. Until they begin to do this, we will continue to experience this. Until they begin to think in a nationalistic way on how they will put their heart together to make sure they pass back in 2027. Even though if they cannot win elections, but they should be able to put their hearts together to actually reassure Nigerians that yes, PDP are ready and fully back. We will continue to see this. And don't be surprised. What is happening there, it will continue to spread like wildfire to other political parties. Because most of the big wigs, there are a lot of money bags in PDP. They will begin to actually throw stones to most of those parties, smaller parties. And all these crises will begin to happen. Look at it, it is happening in Labour Party.
Yeah.
It is happening in Labour Party.
Even in
May God help us. May God continue to help
Amen.
us. S.O. calling from Cross River State.
Thank you, S.O. Dudu, our vibrant caller, regular caller. You heard him, Victoria.
Yes, I did.
Nigerians are not happy.
Oh, let's go to the world of Twitter, X, and just have a look at some of the comments in there on the video. This one says, from Odogu, this is very shameful to say the least. Isn't it very clear that these people are fighting for their own interest and no one else's? And this one says, David Ebo, he says, with open attack, assault, and criminal damage to property of others, no one has been arrested. No police action is visible, and none will be taken to court for trial. Nigeria is truly under siege of lawless people and being ruled by leaders with no respect for laws and justice. I mean, there are loads of comment here. Nigerians are not happy.
Nigerians are not happy, Victoria.
Nigerians are not happy.
Okay, let's hear this caller before we come back to the studios.
All right.
We are being joined by another vibrant caller. Your name, please?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Your name?
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Dominic. I'm calling from Edo State.
From where? Beg your pardon, from where?
Edo State.
Okay, Dominic, please turn down the volume of your TV or take some steps away from the TV set. And then go ahead.
Hello? From Edo State.
Turn down the volume of your TV and then go ahead.
Yeah.
Dominic, if you can hear us, you need to turn down the volume of your TV.
Turn down the volume.
Set, and then we can hear you clearly.
Turn it down so that we can hear you clearly.
Move away from your TV a bit, please.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Yeah.
Turn down the volume, please, or take some steps. You don't need to listen to yourself while you are making your contribution.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me now?
Go ahead, Dominic.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's a pity, and it's a very shameful thing. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Go
go ahead,
You said
please.
it's a pity. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a pity. It's a shameful thing. Nigerians are watching. The whole world is watching.
We can hear you, Dominic.
Yeah. The whole world are watching.
Yes.
This is 20. They are talking about 2027. Yes.
Just take the call.
Hello?
Well, we've got... Okay.
Good evening.
Yeah, we got his
I've been
point
joined by
already.
Dominic was not ready to
Yeah.
get his point.
No, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
That the whole world is
Yeah, the
watching.
whole he's not happy. Turn down the volume of your TV, please, and tell us your name.
Whoa.
Nigerians have a penchant of, wanting to hear their voice when they're making contribution at the same time.
They don't understand the negative impact
Exactly,
of that,
exactly.
on the production.
One thing that is clear is that we've just seen one, and it happens to be what is happening inside a political party. I remember that last month, the appeal committee, or so what's it called again now? A court, a kind of tribunal, yes, for to listen to the case of the Edo election. Couldn't sit in Edo State.
Yeah, they couldn't sit.
Yeah.
Because of this banditry and all that. Because I'll call it banditry.
It's banditry.
Because
By the
they
elites.
came in there and even disturbed everything, so they couldn't sit. That was why that matter was moved from Edo to Abuja. The meeting, the sitting was held this week here in
Abuja, yes.
And it was smooth, it was okay.
It was okay.
So you see, there is this sort of behavior seems to be what has become an innate thing in our people. And it's quite a shame that it has to be what they want to display, because there are many things we can do with our lives, and better things we can do with our lives. That, just as you had earlier mentioned, that it's not a do or die affair.
No, of course.
You don't need to struggle for this.
No.
But now looking at it, if they can do all this, you see, that means the problem of election is still continuing. Because these are the people who are the key players when it comes to election. They will want to get thugs that will help them win the election. They want to buy votes. They want to do all this. It starts from somewhere. Let them begin first with themselves inside, in-house, to sanitize. Let's use the word sanitize themselves, so that sanitize the house, so that they can look at it the right way.
Okay, well,
then they will take it out.
Can you hold your thoughts, your line of thoughts? Let's take this caller. Please, go ahead. Turn down the volume of your TV and then make your contribution after telling us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
I'm going to cut it.
Could you turn down the volume of your TV? You've got another caller.
Yeah, let's take another caller. He's not ready to turn down the volume of his TV. Hello, good evening. You are on to Matters Rising live from Abuja studios of KAFTAN TV. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Macauley. My name is Alhaji Rabiu from Jigawa, Gobel Jigawa.
Alhaji Rabiu from Gobel Jigawa. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, you see, the party politics we are operating, this party politics we are operating has certain weaknesses, of which if there is no constitutional amendments, there will be always rumbling and a lot of crisis, in internal crisis. You see, cross-capiting from one party to another, it's a problem. The reason why you see this crisis is that the Constitution it seems that there is some weaknesses in the Constitution, whereby if you want to cross from one party to another, you can do. Even though you are holding a political office, or you are being elected, a member of Senate or a member of House of Representatives. continue with his position and then changing party. You see, what I'm saying in short is that if we have a very strong party, if we can be able to build a very strong party, look at other countries like United States of America and Britain. You know, it's difficult for you to just one day to wake up and say, I cross over another party just because of selfish interest and other things.
Yeah.
So one of the measures that if we take through constitutional amendment, this party crisis will not be, you know, there will not be a chances, there will not be, you know, loopholes of crisis. You see, if the party are strong, even if you look at the First Republic and the Second Republic, where a party were MPN and other parties, they were very strong, you know, very strong. But now a party are weak. Individuals are stronger than the party. You see, if you won this year or this election period, if the ruling party is, you know, succeeded, you see other opposition members cross-cutting going to the ruling party. You know, it's just a funny political system we are operating, I'm sorry to say. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Rabiu.
Is it what has to do with this thing that they're talking about, moving from one party to the other, the one they are referring to as cross-carpeting, which is Nigerian anyway? I must say that it's because of the fact that there are no ideologies.
No ideologies.
Yes, because he just made reference to America and Britain. There are, even France and some other big countries, there are leftist parties and rightist parties, and some that will be in the center that take a bit of the left and a bit of the right. But here in this country, you don't have such a thing. That was why, I guess, Babangida, when he was a former president, Babangida, when he was there.
SDP and NLC.
Yes.
They listen to the right.
Yes. And they
listen to the left or the center.
Yes. And if we had gone on with that. But
clear-cut ideology.
Yes. In our own case, in this country, nobody looks at what someone had done before, how good it is to maintain it. Okay. They want to jettison it and come with something.
Before Victoria says something, let's take this caller. Hello, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good evening. This is Dominic from Middle Street calling back.
Dominic, you're calling back. Go ahead.
It's better now.
Yeah. The last caller did mention something. You know, in Nigeria here, we don't have law. It's a written law and someone can cancel it. So it's just a pity the way the political parties are going. You know, the interest there is on their own. They don't have the interest of the masses. You understand?
Yes.
The interest, their own is their own pocket. Now, if you look at the judiciary system has collapsed. Nothing to write about it. So the judiciary system there is one of the problem we are having now in Nigeria. If a party, this one we see, yes, this one is one that we, bribery and corruption. When is this thing going to stop? Now, 2000, they are thinking about 2027, whereas there are things that they're supposed to do before the 2027. They are talking about, everybody is just talking about they are talking about their own interest, not the interest of the masses. So I just want to say thank you for this program.
Thank you.
This is my third calling.
Thank you.
I've been calling you. This is the third time.
We appreciate you.
God bless you. Keep on.
God bless you too.
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you. We appreciate.
You reach us. You reach yes.
Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you.
Victoria, you know what? We copied this, the democratic model from a developed climate. And there, it is all about service. All these things we're talking about, lack of internal democracy, lack of transparency, boils down to how lucrative our kind of politics is. People take a plunge for pecuniary considerations because they're going to make money. Otherwise, why would you kill yourself? Why will you organize talks? Why will you exchange blocks? Because you want to offer service. In developed societies, you've been there, you are an international correspondent. You know it in Europe, it's all about,
It's all about service.
It's all about service. You will discover that people are even begged. They are begged to come into.
And people resign when they see that they are not able to meet up with the expectations.
Yeah. Here, nobody resigns here.
No one can resign in Nigeria.
We have called for people to resign. The Minister of Power, Nigerians of all works like.
How would you resign when it's your turn?
Exactly, because of pecuniary. It's his turn.
It's your turn, so why would you leave? I mean, so I feel like there is something missing that most people don't talk about. We've talked about service, the act of service, as part of the reason why these things happen. But people don't talk about emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, yeah.
This is something that the leaders need to be trained in. They need to take courses because, I mean, there are bound to be disagreements.
Yeah.
You know, there are bound to be quarrels. But how are you able to handle this?
Using emotional
intelligence.
Only
when you have emotional intelligence.
As well as cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
Let's take this caller.
Let's take this caller. Hello.
Go ahead. Hello. We can hear you. You're on. Go ahead, Rabiu Gumel. You want to respond to the last caller, to Dominic?
Yeah.
You sure? Go ahead. It's your show.
I think to some extent, I don't think the issue of ideology is playing a role here because no party can be registered without an ideology. Ideology is an abstract thing. It's a very abstract thing.
Okay.
At the end of the day, the old ideologies, normally all the ideologies come into one place, unite into one concrete fundamental issue, that is service to humanity. All the ideologies, even in Europe and America, you see the ideologies. They are just there. So they are grammar, they are, languages, they are, concocted languages and something like that. But the ideology, all the ideologies are coming to one end. That is service to humanity. Service to humanity.
Thank you.
So Nigerian political parties have ideology. I don't agree. Because without ideology, you cannot register a party. The issue is that the problem is whether ideologies are practicalized or ideologies are followed. Because even if you have the ideology and if the constitution, the party is weak, the constitution makes a party weak. I'm not a lawyer, please. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a layman, no, please. Lawyers can say much.
Okay.
But even if there's an ideology and then the constitution makes party weaker, whereby they agree that you can change a party from one party to another and then still hold political position, then there is a problem. Because if you go to all these political parties, they are all, without mentioning names, they all have ideology.
Okay.
And no INEC or any other organization charged with registration of parties can never ever register a political party without an ideology.
Okay.
Well, I think that what the last caller was talking about, I think they are making. I feel like.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I feel
Gumel.
like both of them are saying the same thing because what is an ideology if it's not being practicalized? And what is a law when it's not being obeyed?
Yeah. Only on paper.
So that's the thing. So
anyway,
in addition to
this ideological note, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue on the line of thoughts of Okechukwu talking about ideology. That'll be after this break. Please don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Imagine a beautiful world.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're on to Matters Arising, coming to you live from the King Adebayo Abuja studios of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, commonly known as KAFTAN TV, where we imagine a beautiful world as KAFTAN TV ideology. Oches, before we
yes, talking about ideology, I said it's only on paper that you find such a thing. This man that just called and made his statement,
Rabiu Gumel.
Rabiu, if I ask you what is the ideology of the party you belong to, so as to send to INEC for them to have
as
the
requirement
approval.
for registration.
Yes, as basic requirement.
And most of the members are not even aware of what the ideologies are.
So they go on doing what they're doing. You see someone that says he belongs to one party, and then when he goes over to the other one, he's still living the same life, doing everything the way he was doing in the other party.
That means all the parties have one ideology.
They all have one ideology. He's only doing that because he wants to remain relevant, and so he just moves over and stays there. Our musicians, they were all members of the PDP, all of them in the house. But I think it was only about 2 or 3 that were APC. But do you know that the moment, not even APC, but Labour Party and APGA. So do you know that by the moment, at the time the man came in as governor, all of them changed party. All of them became members of APC. Why? Relevance. They wanted to align with the man so that they will be allowed to retain the positions they had in the house.
On the basis of ideological...
No,
you saw the recent news about NIGCOMSAT. Moving
he
from,
just defected.
I mean, defecting from... I mean, you won here. Why don't you stay there? But because you're looking towards, maybe you feel like you're not going to win like in 2027 if you stay here. So you're moving.
Maybe there's someone
that's
else
not interest.
that is more powerful in this.
In the same exactly. Yeah.
And he found out that fighting with this man will not give him.
Yes. So he has to move. That's
party.
it. I mean, stay and fight then.
Stay and fight.
Look.
So where is the ideology?
Yeah.
There's no
and
ideology.
one thing that we're not taking note of is the fact that the world is a digital space right now.
Yeah.
Whatever picture you're putting out there, that's the same way they see us, Nigerians in diaspora. So if you're putting a picture of an aggressive society where the leaders are fighting, you know, quarreling and all of that. I mean, when you see a Nigerian, you just, I mean, stereotypes. It looks like we're all the same.
Yes.
And it affects a lot of people.
Think of it, the reasons are
you won't get
trivial.
employment.
Yes.
You won't get, because they can see you out there.
And the reasons for the fisticuffs
honestly,
are trivial.
it's not necessary. Even if they're not, there's no need for that public display of,
Vicky,
you know,
that reminds me
animosity.
of this thing. This thing just reminds me of the thing that became a joke, kind of, sometime past. And in the past, that someone came to ask a Nigerian, "Is it true that Nigerians answer questions with questions?" And the man said, "Who told you?" Hasn't he answered it?
You understand? You've already answered.
So that's what we have here as a problem in our country.
Yeah, it's really
bad.
bad.
We need to do a reorientation. I still want to talk to NOA. They still have a whole lot of work.
National Orientation Agency.
We have to make this clear. Even in developed climes, we've seen politicians in the parliament exchanging blows. But they do them not because of not for pecuniary consideration, but because of patriotism and nationalistic interest.
Yes.
It's like you are here to change my constituency. I will not agree with that. We're going to fight. Here it's about position, because moving towards 2027 elections, once you become national secretary of the biggest opposition party, you are sitting on gold mine. That's just it.
But would you say that this display gives the APC an edge already?
Well,
you say, because are people going to lose interest?
Do you remember the allegation by the presidential ticket holder of the PDP People's Democratic Party last year, 2023 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, who alleged that the APC is giving out 50 million naira to all the opposition political parties, only to destabilize the parties. And the reason is to destabilize the parties. So it remains allegation and rumor.
Yes.
We were following, we were maintaining tap on that story.
I mean, how you gonna know? You have to do an investigative journalism to find out anyway.
What we have seen in this country is that some people will sponsor others to get into another party to destabilize that party.
It's strategy.
So it's their strategy of doing whatever.
But I mean, if the ideology is tight, the vision is clear, you won't let that happen.
That's the point. That's the point.
I mean, you have a dream, you have a vision.
But he has not
you know where you're going.
He has not been able to mention names of people that
they're never
are
going to
culpable.
mention. You have to find that out as a journalist.
We're keeping tab on it.
We may not need to mention names because
no, if he does, if he mentions the names, we amplify it.
Exactly, but then we need to see it first of all. But apart from that, again, I say, the election itself, it's a process which we still need to put in the right perspective for this nation, or this country, because talking about nation now, there are many things, many nationalities in Nigeria. So for this, our country that is yet to become a full nation, because there are many things, we have different thoughts as far as the well-being of the country is concerned, and mainly people do this most of all for personal interest. We still need to think like the way they reason abroad, the way they asked, one of the past presidents of America said, think of what you would do for America, not what America would do for you.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
Just like what Trump is doing now for America.
Exactly. Patriotism.
The interest of America.
America first. One of my takeaways from Rabiu that called from Jigal said was... Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take a short break. When we return, the program will wind down. Please stay with us. Yeah, welcome back. We sincerely apologize for that technical glitch that has been fixed by our technicians. We're here discussing on matters arising, internal wranglings of all the political parties in Nigeria, particularly a focus on the major political parties, the PDP and the ruling All Progressive Congress. You were on a line of thoughts, Victoria.
Yes.
I
think it was, he was on,
Looking again the other way, you see, just as you mentioned, it's all the political parties.
Yeah.
He mentioned APGA, it's happened there. He mentioned Labour Party, it's happening.
NNPP.
And NNPP.
We haven't had anything about SDP though.
No, SDP
they haven't had any fight yet.
Well, because it's not among, that's